Lee, you got some information about Coach of the Year. I'm interested to hear what you got to say about Coach of the Year because I'm this got me kind of intrigued on what you thinking.
Yeah, I know I left you a little bit of suspense on this one, and it's not that big of a deal. But I was watching, I think it was NFL Live today, and they had a graphic. They were talking about the Browns, and they were talking about how Stefanski and the organization since I think about 2000, since 2020, I think they went through, got it right here, about they went through 11 starting quarterbacks, right?
Mm,
I mean, I
11.
think 11. Things happen. You have injuries and all
Yeah,
these
yeah,
other
yeah.
things. We all know what happened with the Deshaun Watson fiasco, and then them just, bringing in, people who, you had James Winston last year.
Yeah, yeah.
You had Joe Flacco at one time.
Hmm.
They had I think the rookie, the guy that you guys got from them, DTR, right? Yeah, right. No, not Pickett. Y'all got the quarterback from them, Thompson Robinson or something
Oh
like
yeah,
that.
yeah, 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 yeah. Thompson. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, they went through a lot, right? But in the graphic, they showed Stefanski, right? You had Sean McVay, who during that time, and I couldn't believe it,
Sean McVay was on that.
we went through 8 quarterbacks since 2020,
What?
right? Now
Yeah,
we've started 8 different quarterbacks. Now this one is a little inflated
yeah.
because
Okay.
we had about 2 seasons where we started the backup because we had won the division and we were resting our starters,
Right,
right?
right, right. Yeah.
So I'm thinking, okay, that's what they counted that. That don't really count,
Right. Yeah.
right? But we did have we had a season or two where Stafford got hurt, pull in. We had Wentz one time, right? Wentz won us a game. Wentz beat the 49ers. So
Wentz.
Wentz, yeah, he beat the 49ers. Everyone was playing their backups in that game,
Yeah, yeah. Okay, okay, okay. All right, then. Okay,
right?
okay,
It was the last game of the season,
okay, okay.
right?
All right, all right, all right.
But
That
uh,
explains.
but you got Kyle Shanahan, who had also went through 8 quarterbacks during that time. Sean Payton and Ron Rivera.
Yeah.
What? But that's not the part that caught my attention. The part that caught my attention is since 2020, right? There's another column where all of the coaches has a 0 except for Stefanski. He has 2 in this column. And in this column, it's Coach of the Year. So he's won 2 Coach of the Year awards from 2020
You better
to
stop.
now, right?
You better stop, man.
So, man, I'm trying to understand how.
You can't be serious, man.
Yeah, he's won Coach of the Year twice in the last 5 years.
Okay, so from 2020, 2024, we in
No,
2025
4
now.
year, 4, yeah.
He won.
I don't know.
I
I
don't
don't get
even.
it. So I'm trying to understand. Okay, what's the criteria for
I
Coach
don't
of the
know.
Year? And
I
not only
don't.
that, how do you win it twice with an organization like that?
That's what I'm saying. Where did he come from? Do you know his background?
Let me see.
Because that don't even make any sense to me. I thought you're supposed to at least one of the criteria should be winning.
Well, I'm pretty sure they had a winning season.
When the
Was year.
Browns had a winning season. Hold
Huh?
on, hold on, hold on,
No,
hold
no,
on.
no, no,
Did
no.
they go to the playoffs? They
Yeah, they
went to
went
the
to the
playoffs.
playoffs.
Yeah, they went
Yeah,
to the
yeah,
playoffs. I
yeah, yeah,
remember.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. In that time, they did go to the playoffs.
Right.
Yeah,
But I can guarantee you, just that same Sean McVay, Kyle Shanahan, I'm pretty sure they went to the playoff too, right?
yeah, yeah,
So I
yeah. Hold on. Let me. I gotta look this up. I gotta look something up here.
so Stevens he started his coaching career back in 2000, his professional coaching career.
Yeah.
Back in 2006 with the Minnesota Vikings. He was just an assistant back then to Brad Childress.
Oh, he was okay. Okay, Childress. Okay.
Then wow. Wow. So he was there for about, is this right? So like 14 years in Minnesota,
Hmm. He was
right?
14 years in Minnesota.
That's what it looks like.
Wow.
Assistant to the head coach, assistant quarterback coach, tight ends coach, running back coach, quarterback coach, interim offensive coordinator in 2019. All of those positions were with the Minnesota Vikings stemming from 2006 to 2019, right? And then after that, he got his head coaching job in Cleveland in 2020, where in that year, he got the first of his 2 Coach of the Year. awards.
This is not making any sense to me. Okay, this is not making any sense. Okay, so what I did, I looked up the Browns win loss record in the last 4 years. Okay, so he was the coach. He became the coach in 2020.
Yeah.
Okay, in 2020 they went 11-5, and they came third. They finished third in the AFC North, and they had a loss in the divisional playoffs.
Yeah.
2021 they were 8-9. They came third in the AFC. 2021. 2022 they were 7-10. Came last. AFC North. 2023 they were 11-6. Finished second in the AFC North.
That's the second coach of the year.
And then last year they were 3-14. So you mean to tell me that first year he came, he went 11-5. So I guess, and this must be criteria just for him.
Just
if he win 11 games, he get coach of the year. That's what it looked like. That's what it looked like to me, because that's what I'm seeing right here. Because that first year they lost in the divisional playoffs. They were 1-1, so they won a game, then lost in the divisional playoffs, and then in 2023 they lost in the wild card. They made the playoffs and lost. So that really, the only thing I could see is winning 11 games, man.
How many coach of the year awards does Bill Belichick have? You know?
I need to look that up. That's a good one. That's a good one. That's a good one.
So he has 3 times.
So Bill Belichick won 3 times, and Stefanski already win 2. Boy, that don't make, I don't know. I seriously would like to know what is the criteria, because I don't know what is the criteria for winning it. Head coach. I mean, coach of the year. That don't even compute.
No.
As for as much as Bill Belichick was dominating,
right,
and he only won 3,
right.
This got to be a fluff award, because they just, I don't know if this could tell a story too. When did Bill Belichick win those?
So you had 2003, 2007, and 2010.
And he just stopped coaching in what?
2018.
So did they win a Super Bowl before then?
What? And during those years? Yeah.
I mean, in the years where he was, when he first came, like when he won that first one.
Let's see. He won his first 3 Super Bowls. His first one was in 2001.
Yes, okay, I remember the 2000.
Yeah. And then I think, did they go back to back?
I think they may have.
Yeah, they're saying the first 3 Super Bowl wins were 2001 to 2004.
Yeah, I think they went back to back, and then
and
then skip one, and then went back and won the next one. Yeah. So
in that time period, he got coach of the year.
But I could see that though. You know what I'm saying?
No, it makes sense. I mean,
it makes sense.
He's winning championships.
Yeah, he's winning championship. This dude win 11 games twice.
Yeah.
That don't make any sense, man. I don't know how that even. I don't know how they make that. I don't know how they got this award, because I'm sure like you said, McVay. I mean, shoot, even Sean Payton.
Right.
You got so many other coaches that probably was deserving of that. He wins 11 games and gets it. Yeah, that don't compute to me, man. I don't know what that. You know what? Let me look this up, because let's see. Yeah, because I just need to know. I need to know from my own understanding. Here, let's see. The NFL Coach of the Year is given to the head coach who has done the most outstanding job of working with the talent available to them. Hold on. That can't be. Hold on. Let me go straight. Let me dig deeper in here, man. Let's see. So this is a fluff award, because it's obviously it's voted on by reporters, sports reporters, and writers and stuff. He just got he happens to be well liked in the media. I assume. That's really the only thing by these sports writers that's writing. I mean, because there's no way you win 11 games. Two out of the 5 years that you've been there, you win Coach of the Year, and that's only when he won 11 games. And the other seasons, you didn't even make the playoffs. Barely won 3 games. Yeah, that's a fluff award, man. You gotta be well liked in there for that to happen, because
I think there's a lot of politics that goes into all these
politics.
Right? Because we were talking on some podcasts back about the whole MVP.
Right.
And you
Same
look
thing.
at Josh Allen.
Yeah.
One could say Lamar Jackson did deserve it this year,
Yes. But not last year.
but not last year.
Right.
Right.
So they flip flop. Yeah. So I guess they said, well, we gave it to you last year, Lamar. We just gonna give it to Josh this year.
Yeah.
Josh deserved it last year.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. One of those awards. Anyway.
I think it's voted on by the media, right? Reporters.
Yeah, by the media.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't take
It's fluff, man.
Can't take it serious.
Yeah, you can't. You can't. It's fluff. So yeah. Anyway, so okay, George Pickens goes to the Dallas Cowboys.
To them there Cowboy.
Man, yeah. I know you wanted to share something on this, but before you get started, the first thing I heard, man, we going to the Super Bowl.
Who said that?
Cowboys fans, man. I was online. I saw it. I was like, as soon as I saw the announcement, I was like, let me straight to the comments. Let me go online. Let me see what's going on. Because Cowboys message boards and stuff pop up. They say they going to the Super Bowl because they got George Pickens. Man, get out of here, man. Anyway, go. I mean,
Cowboys fans? No. George Pickens, or the acquisition of George Pickens, is not enough to get y'all to the Super Bowl. That's not going to happen. Not just because of him. If y'all go, it's going to be because of much more than just George Pickens.
Yeah.
Historically, when we look at what the Steelers do with these wide receivers, they have an expansive track record of having highly talented, mass-producing wide receivers who are also malcontents, right?
Right.
From an
Yeah.
attitude and personality standpoint. And they have the propensity of getting the most out of those receivers. And right when it hits that tipping point, they get them out.
Yeah.
And when they get them out,
Yeah.
wherever it is that they land, they don't reproduce that same production that they did with the Steelers.
Yeah.
Now, on the flip side of that, when you look at that historical context of receivers that they've gotten rid of in the past, George Pickens is the youngest, right? He's 24.
He's a young dude.
He's a young dude, right?
Yeah,
You got rookies that came out this year
That's right.
older than him.
That's right. Yeah.
Right?
Wow. Yeah. That's true.
So I think he's a little bit of he doesn't fit the same mold. Yes, he's a bit of a malcontent. He has shown bouts of letting his emotions get the better of him and disrupting his play on the field and jeopardizing his team, right? Especially in situational, circumstances. So with that being said, he has enough time to turn it around and actually buck the trend and produce higher with the Cowboys than with the Steelers. But it's up to him. Also, you have to understand too, most of those other players, I think all of them, they'd already gotten their big payday, or they were moving on to get that big payday.
True.
Within that transition.
Yeah.
And George Pickens, he still has a year left and has to prove his worth to get that contract. So at least for this next year, I think he's going to be highly motivated to outproduce what he's done in the past. And you might see for the first time a Steelers wide receiver moving on and actually doing better in his second destination. That being said, still ain't going to the Super Bowl.
No. Forget that.
The Eagles, you got the Commanders in the same division.
Yeah. That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. Yeah. You know what? George Pickens, man, like you said, he may, because it's a contract year, still on his rookie deal, and he wants to get that contract, that big contract. He may be okay for this year, but I think that's going to be it. I think that's going to be it for him, because the circus of what Dallas is a circus, right? It's a zoo. So think about it. all this attention is going to be, the Dallas media, the whole everybody, everybody. I don't know why Dallas gets so much attention, but Dallas, right? And he's in that circus. That's just gonna fuel him to do more idiotic stuff, man.
You think so?
It,
Idiotic?
absolutely, absolutely. I think eventually what's also going to happen, him and CD Lamb are going to be, they're gonna come in tight. They're gonna, that first season come in tight. He's gonna get the big contract, and then all turmoil is gonna break loose. Turmoil is gonna break loose because when he get his new contract, how receivers are. He get his new contract. CD Lamb. I don't think he's not gonna get paid more than CD Lamb. He's coming in as wide receiver 2.
He's
right?
gonna get the T. Higgins money.
Yes, yeah. He's gonna get, and all hell is going to break loose. I'm telling you, it's not going. You know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of what T.O. did with the Eagles when he was just showing up, when he was just doing sit-ups on the field and just doing stuff and just wanting a new contract. He's gonna get his contract, but after the contract, he is going to go wild. I'm telling you. And I think that's what happened. That's also, if we look back, that's probably what happened with Antonio Brown. Antonio Brown got that. I think I remember a clip where Ryan Clark was saying, this guy was mild mannered.
Y'all should have never given him that money.
That's right. Should have never given that. Exactly. That's it. And I think that George Pickens is going to be the same person, man. He's going to turn into the same person, and they will have one good year together. They will have one good year. And then after that, when they give him that contract, if Dallas decides to keep him and they give him that contract, it's going to be over.
Yeah.
It's going to be over. And you know what? I'm going to be laughing the whole way because I'm tuning into the circus, man. I can't wait. I can't wait to see this. This is going to be, now don't get me wrong. They are, as a receiver combo, they could be lethal, right? Yeah. They could be lethal. If he really buckles down and decides to play, they could be lethal. But then you got Dak Prescott throwing you the ball, right? So Dak is going to, and it all depends. It all depends on Dak. How Dak goes, how Dallas go. So if Dak can't get over that hump, I mean, CD Lamb, you could arguably have said, not last year but the year before, he could have been in the MVP running because, man, the dude was just on fire. I mean, he was just lighting it up. So to think to add Pickens to this, I don't know, man. That's going to be a dynamic that, they could be a lethal combo. Again, they're not going to the Super Bowl, but they could be a lethal combo. But George Pickens is going to go wild when he gets that money, man. That just it's him. It's for him to prove. It's for him to prove me wrong on that. But based on what I've seen so far in his young career, only 24, he's a hothead, man.
Yeah.
Him and what's the guy we were talking about the other day who was in Seattle? DK. Yeah, him and DK, they sort of like the same person.
Yeah,
they sort of like the same person. And for somebody to be able to get under your skin like that, and you talking about playing the Eagles, and this is a division, and you are hated, and the fans, this even worse than Steelers. I mean, this is like Dallas against Eagles, Dallas against Commanders, Dallas and Giants. This is like on a whole nother level, bro.
Yeah.
And you Philly fans.
Yeah.
Boy, this is that. I can't wait to see that. That's going to be some fireworks.
I think, and I just thought about this when you were mentioning Dak and how Dak is going to be a crucial ingredient to the potential success for George Pickens.
Yeah.
Right. Or then it could be the opposite of that, right?
Right.
I don't think it starts with Dak. I think it starts right up there with Brian Schottenheimer, the head coach. Right? Brian. And we know how unimaginative his offense is.
Yeah.
Right. You look at Dak's best year, couple of years, statistically. That's when Kellen Moore was there.
Wow.
And you saw what happened to Dak after they shipped Kellen Moore out.
Yeah.
It's never been the same.
Never been the same. Wow.
It's going to be...
Man, that's a good point.
Yeah.
That's a really good point. Schottenheim, man, They probably going to be running go routes all day. One route, just go,
And then run.
go long,
Stop, run,
just
go.
run. That's gonna be interesting to see. Like you said, man, you know Schottenheimer from being with the Rams, and yeah, unimaginative.
He is
Just
nothing like it.
yeah. He didn't study his dad at all. Yeah, nothing felt to him. So okay, I wanted to talk about something real quick. This, get your opinion on this and tell me what you think. Okay, so second year QBs. Who do you feel is going to make the biggest jump out of these QBs? We got Caleb Williams.
Yeah.
We got Jaden Daniels. We got Drake May. We got Michael Penix Jr., J.J. McCarthy, Bo Nix.
Okay.
Out of those second year quarterbacks, who do you feel is going to make the biggest jump?
So I want to first disqualify J.J. McCarthy because there's really nothing to jump from.
Right. Yeah.
He didn't
So
play
yeah.
at all last year.
Yeah.
And then with Jaden Daniels, it's hard to do much better than what he did. I expect maybe somewhat of a sophomore slump when it comes to him because he performed so high, right? It's not out of the realm of possibility that he's going to be able to build on top of that and do even better. I'm not saying that he's incapable of doing that. It's just the percentages of that happening are pretty low. So for the sake of this question, I'm going to have to go with Caleb Williams.
Caleb Williams, okay.
It's the Ben Johnson factor, man.
Yeah.
They got Ben Johnson, the dynamo offensive coordinator from the Detroit Lions.
Mm-hmm.
So he comes in, and then you look at what they did in the draft, right? They picked up Loveland from the tight end from Michigan.
Yep.
I'm a big Michigan fan, so I watched him. Dude is a stud. Like, as a pass catching tight end, he kind of reminds me. He's in that Jimmy Graham mold.
Yeah, that's
tall,
that's athletic,
lanky, athletic.
Yeah.
He can stretch the seam. He's a really, really good pass catching tight end that also has the ability to block when needed.
Okay.
Blocking isn't his forte, but he can do it.
Yeah.
But and I was talking to our mutual friend Bear fan.
Yeah.
Right. And I was telling him the sleeper in all of this, I think, is Luther Burden. Right. We talked about him when we were talking about our wide receiver list for rookies.
Right.
He's the rookie out of Missouri. And let me tell you, I went back and rewatched some tape on him. And where they picked him in the second round. He probably should have been a first round pick. Now that I look back and really take a evaluation of his skill set.
Yeah.
Him coming into that offense, he's gonna be dynamic because he has twitchy and he has burst and he can break tackles.
Yeah.
He kind of reminds me, I don't know, he has a little bit of Deebo Samuels in him.
Okay.
Right?
Okay. Breaking tackles
from a strength, like a wide receiver who can like almost play like a running back after he catches the ball. So I think with what they've invested into the offensive, they shored up the offensive line. They gave him all sorts of pass catching tools and players. They didn't put a lot of stock in the run, so I'm anticipating Caleb Williams is going to be throwing the ball a lot.
Throwing the ball, yeah.
So in terms of a jump, I think it's going to be him. And the thing is, he had a really good rookie season,
Yeah.
He had over 3,500 yards passing.
Yeah.
20 touchdowns, only 6 interceptions.
Yeah.
62% completion rate, percentage. So he had for a rookie, and with all of the turmoil that they had, bad coaching.
Yeah.
Players not doing what they're supposed to be doing, right? And he still was able to put up stats that didn't look like rookie stats.
Yeah.
Took a lot of sacks.
Right. Yeah.
He took that up. And a lot of that was on him because he kept holding on to the ball.
Yeah.
So if Ben Johnson could get him to play on rhythm, get the ball out of his hand, and if he learns that play action concept properly, because that's going to be a little bit tricky for him because he never really played with his back.
Right.
To the defense. He's going to learn how to play, turn around
your back
and then reassess.
Right,
It's
right, right.
not as easy as people think that. It's
Yeah, I know.
tricky. If you haven't been doing it for a long time, it's going to be
Right.
kind of hard to adjust to it. But if he
Yeah.
gets that, yeah, I see him making the biggest jump out of the rest.
Mm.
Bo Nix,
Yeah.
I think he peaked. Like I
That
don't
was
see
good.
him.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, like there's nothing about Bo Nix that impresses me. He's really good with the Sean Payton scheme,
Mm-hmm.
but
Mm-hmm.
the minute the defenses get a hold of that scheme, I don't think Bo Nix can play above the X's and O's,
Mm. Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then Drake May, I think he would be a close second because now Josh McDaniel is the offensive coordinator for
Yes.
the
Yeah.
Patriots,
Yep.
and
Yep.
they've invested in. I think they're going to shore up that running game, so he's going to have a really really good balance with that offense. So it's gonna. I think it's going to be a race between Caleb and Drake May
And Drake May.
for that jump. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right. Yeah. Point you made with Caleb is really going to depend for him if he could pick up the playbook in time, or if they simplify the playbook to where he can pick up the concepts that Ben Johnson is bringing in. I know they're gonna, you know, break it down where he could feel comfortable and what he could learn. I don't know what his learning style is, as a quarterback, but if he can pick it up based on what I've seen from Ben Johnson, very creative. I could see it happening. If it doesn't translate in year one, it will definitely translate in year two. So it really depends on. I think for him, like you said, he has the weapons. They shored up the offensive line. I think it really depends on if he picks it up and he can run with it, because Ben Johnson and that dude he's legit. He's legit. He's like Sean McVay, man. Like coming up with these schemes and these different routes, and it's like stuff you never even seen before. So yeah, it's that's gonna be interesting. But for me, I'm going with Jaden Daniels, man. I know he's already peaked, right? I know he's already peaked, but from what I'm seeing with this kid, and from what I'm seeing, and I don't like that he's in our division,
Mhm.
because he didn't lose that NFC Championship game. His team did. The Eagles just got on there, just got on them from that standpoint. Their offense couldn't, it wasn't his fault. So
It was a bunch of it was some fumbles, right?
fumbles and
Yeah,
yes, yes,
yeah,
yes, yes,
yeah.
punching the ball out and that kind of thing, and punt return fumbles and that kind of thing. He is going to, I think, I know you said the second year slump, but I think the type of player this kid is, he's going to figure it out. He's going to figure it out, and he's going to have those guys back in the running again. They are a dangerous team. I want to see how they're going to use Debo Samuel over there. It's going to be interesting. But I think he can, based on what they've been talking about with him and the VR technology and what they've been putting in, and how he uses that, and how he's been, in the playbook, and his second year in the playbook, I think. But like you said, now defenses are going to adjust, and they're going to be ready for him. But I think he makes a another step forward, man. I mean, I know he was already NFC Championship. How do you get back to the NFC Championship again? But maybe they don't make it to the NFC Championship. But I think him as a player, him as a QB, he makes another small step, another leap. For being in our division, I like the kid. I like the kid. I don't like the Redskins, Commanders. I don't like them, but I like him as a player.
Yeah.
If he was on the Eagles, I would love it. He's one of those guys that you could get behind. I think he makes another little jump forward, man. I think he
Yeah,
makes
and
another.
don't get me wrong, I'm not saying he's gonna have a bad season, not at
Yeah,
all.
yeah, yeah.
It's just it's
It's hard.
hard
Yeah,
to outdo what he did last
yeah,
season. Those come from behind wins, the overtime, right? The Hail Mary against the bid. Like I would be blown away if he had a better, like a better season
yeah, yeah,
than
yeah. I
last
don't
season.
record wise. I don't think it's gonna be better.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at from the perspective of him making a leap in maybe in the offense, or as a player, him being able to decipher things. It's gonna be I want to see how. I think he's going to adjust really well to the differences or the changes that defensive coordinators are going to bring at him.
Yeah.
And so all right, we'll see. We'll see.
Okay.
We'll see. But I wanted to stick on Jaden Daniels for a little bit here. I
Okay.
wanted to stick on him for a little bit, man. Jaden Daniels. I I was on social media, right?
Yeah.
And okay, so during the NCAA tournament, Juju Watkins came down and they was sitting down, they talking and whatever,
Looking cozy.
looking a little cozy
Yeah.
and chatting it up and smiling and stuff, So you say, okay, all right. Next thing you know, mom's coming there and shut that
Mom
whole thing
Dukes.
down.
Mom Dukes came in like,
No,
not on my
mom said
watch.
it's not happening. It's
Right.
not happening. Then I just saw they just had the Met Gala, right? So I was like, okay, he jump out, paparazzi, cha-cha-cha, they clicking and stuff. I turned to the thing. Why Mom Duke's in the car, about to jump out at the same time? Come on, Mom Dukes, man. No, I can't. I don't know about this, man. I really this is I don't know. I mean, I know, dude. He got it. We know the ladies, want to come for him, and she trying to. But I think this is overkill, man. I just think this is just too much. I mean, you gotta let him breathe, man. Let him breathe.
Did you see? So she did an interview some time ago, right?
Yeah.
It was I think at the very beginning of his rookie season. Did you see it? Did you?
I think yeah. I think I saw that.
They asked that they brought up the topic. This is before the whole Juju Watkin thing happened. Before this Met Gala. This is early.
Yeah.
And they asked her. I think the topic came up about, his social life, like what's that gonna look like?
Right. Yeah.
And I mean, she looked in the heart of that camera, and she said, she ain't letting them girls get to him. She said this,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I think it was something along the lines of, she's not gonna let them get their hooks in him. Not on her watch. It's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
And she's holding true to her word.
Like, she
literally
man.
said that, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, to her point, I think she's looking at it from the aspect of her son is now highly touted.
Right. Yeah.
Made a name for himself, so he's popular.
Yeah.
Playing the most prestigious position in all of American sports.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Right? Doing well at it. You're going to get those birds that are going to start flocking to him.
Yeah.
And to her point, it's going to be a lot of bad ones. Come on now. It's going to be a lot of they're going to have a lot of birds, right?
Yeah.
That don't have good intentions.
True.
Right?
Yeah.
And so who knows her son better than her?
Yeah.
Right? And she's saying she's not going to allow him to get put down, go down that rabbit hole and mess up not just his career, but potentially his life.
True. Yeah, that's true. I definitely, yeah.
He don't seem, when you look at him and you see his disposition, he don't seem upset about having his mother around him.
Right.
He don't seem to be disturbed about her constantly in his space.
Yeah.
If that works for him and it keeps him on the straight and narrow, helps him to continue to play good football, because she's saying his focus is football. His focus is football.
His focus is football.
That's
it. As it should be. Yes.
That's it.
Yeah.
He's 24.
Yeah.
You and I both know this. Like I know you married young. You're a little young. You were like in your early 20s when you married.
Yeah,
right?
23, 24.
Right. Yeah. I was a little bit older when I got married. Yeah. Still in my 20s, but later in my 20s.
Yeah.
I wasn't ready.
Yeah.
I thought I was ready earlier, but knowing myself now,
yeah,
I would have messed that up. You
wasn't ready. Yeah.
I wasn't ready.
Yeah.
And it has nothing to do with being promiscuous and nothing like that.
Yeah.
No, it was just like there's a level of maturity and understanding that comes with holding down a marriage as a man.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
And there was still things I was figuring out and learning who I was as a person as well. And I think when you got a young black man at 24, playing this position that has a ton of responsibilities on and off the field, he really don't need no distractions.
That is true.
Right? He don't need any distractions. He really doesn't.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you find you a good one, you
Yeah.
found a good one.
Right. Right.
But
Right.
Mom Dukes is like she could sniff them out.
Yeah. Yeah.
She
Mom.
know,
Mom.
and I think that that clip with Juju Watkins was blown out of proportion a little bit because I think there was another clip where the three of them was there and they were all cordial
Right. 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 Yeah. Yeah. They were
but
talking and stuff.
but it was still a little disturbing that Mom Dukes was in the middle.
She was in
Like
the middle.
she
She jumped in the middle, man. She
she
jumped
didn't
in the
need
middle.
to be in the middle, right?
This is all I was saying on this, right? All I was saying on this was, if there's anyone
Mm-hmm.
that, yes, he is the face of the franchise, multi-millions and millions, they're counting on him. He is it for the Washington Commanders, right? But if there is anyone, Juju got her own money. Juju don't need his money, right? Juju got her own money. She got her own thing going on. I thought Mom Dukes would have been more like, okay, this girl got her own thing. I'm not really worrying. The other girls, yeah, I can see because they coming for the come up. But Juju got her own stuff, man. I mean, so you know.
I
But
agree.
hey, like you said, you said it. She knows her son.
Mm-hmm.
She knows what she wants for
Mm-hmm.
her son.
Right.
So hey,
Because the gold digging aspect, and because we know, well, we don't know, but we would assume Juju, she's not looking for that,
yeah, no, no, yeah,
right?
yeah,
Not by any stretch of the amount. Like
yeah,
she got her own stuff.
right,
But I think that's just one aspect of what his mother's trying to protect him from. It's
yeah.
also again the distraction,
The
right?
distraction, yeah,
This
focus, yeah.
position, like this role that he's in right now, is hard enough as it is by itself.
Mm-hmm.
You can't afford that,
Right.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Do we know?
Especially if
Like,
you hadn't.
is his father in his life? Do we
You know
know?
what? I hadn't seen, so I don't think so. I
Right.
haven't, and that's just speculation. That's just based off of what I've seen. I've never seen his father or any speak of his father.
Right. So unfortunate, like I don't know if he is or he isn't, right? All we
Right.
know is his mother seems to be the figurehead in his life.
Right. Yeah.
And based off of that, I can only assume, and I know it's wrong to assume, but for what it is right now, for the purpose of this conversation, let's assume that his dad isn't there.
Right.
It makes it, I think, that much more difficult for a young man to really negotiate, like kind of figure his way through that relationship aspect
Mm.
if he didn't have a proper example of what that's supposed to look like,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I had my dad in my life. He's
Yeah.
still in my life, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm holding down a marriage now going on 20 years,
Yeah, man.
right? And so I had that example. A lot of men, some men figure it out who didn't have that, but in order for you to figure it out, you need to find a mentor, someone
Someone. Yeah.
like that can help guide you along
Yeah.
that path.
Yeah.
You can't do it by yourself,
Yeah. That's right. Yeah,
right?
you're right.
So in his case, maybe he just she knows her son, he knows himself, and it's like he's out there, he have fun, but you compartmentalize that and then you get to work,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? And
I
maybe
agree.
the whole aspect of this thing is wait till you get that your next deal. When
Yeah.
when you get off of this rookie contract and you get to
Mhm.
that max deal that's coming up,
Right. Right.
and then you can worry about everything else after that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
You got.
until you get that, you need to stay focused.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
You.
I can't be mad at it, man. To do it, he producing,
Yeah.
he's balling out.
Yeah.
If this is what has to happen in his life for him to continue to stay on the straight and narrow and have this good trajectory that he's on right now to being an excellent NFL player,
Yeah.
so be it.
Yeah. It could, because and that's good points. Getting into a relationship and starting a relationship, it takes time. You have to invest time. And so either you're going to be investing time. It's hard to invest time, especially when you are a multi-million dollar quarterback, franchise quarterback, that the whole city, the whole team, and everybody is counting on,
Ending on.
depending on.
It's
Yes.
ending on him.
Yes, you can't split focus, because it's going to take. You have to invest in the relationship if you going into a relationship, and that means that's going to split your focus with football, and that's going to split your focus. So yeah, that's a good point, man. Yeah, yeah, that definitely
But
makes sense.
what was so remarkable about last season for them was watching Terry McLaurin and listening to him in the interviews. Him like you could see he's like
Finally.
Finally.
Yeah. Finally, man.
They
Yes.
finally got someone
Yes. Yes.
who can get me the ball.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. I could tell. They definitely. Yeah, they're dangerous there in the NFC East, man. But they still got something. We still gonna spank them, man. We still got something for them. Still got something for them.
Mm.
Yeah, man. You good.
All
Good.
right. All right.
Yeah. So yeah, I think we
That's what we
covered it,
got.
man.
That's what we got for today.
Yeah,
All
covered
right.
it.
One more thing.
Yeah.
Jalen Ramsey.
Yes, yes, yes. So
So
go ahead.
yeah, no, he's still floating out there,
Mm-hmm.
and there's still talks about him potentially going to the Rams, of course, right?
Right.
I don't think we're gonna get him.
Yeah.
I think if
Yeah.
we were gonna get him, it would happen.
Yeah.
But you mentioned the last time we talked about this in potential like Eagles. Why don't the Eagles scoop him up?
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
would still want to see that happen?
I don't see why not. I don't see why not. I think at this point in his career, right? He's already, he bounced around. He was at a couple teams. Or this would be after this. This would be like his third team.
Could
Third
be his
team.
fourth. He started with the Jaguars, went to the Rams, Dolphins.
Yeah. So this would be his fourth
Could be his
team,
fourth, yeah.
right? And he's what, 8?
No, man, he's older than that.
He's older than that. Let's see. Don't get me wrong. He is
30.
so he's 30. Okay. So yeah, this is it for him. As a cornerback, as a high caliber cornerback, this would be it for him. And I could see him fitting into the Eagles piece because we got a lot of young guys. Okay. So, on the outside, I see Quinyon Mitchell obviously locking that down. They can move Cooper DeJean to the other side, but Cooper was so solid in the slot. They're gonna keep Cooper. If this were to happen, they would keep Cooper DeJean in the slot, and then they're bringing another veteran, just like he would fill in Slay's spot.
Okay.
He's younger than Slay,
Yeah.
and he's still got some talent, a really high level, caliber, skilled guy, and he got about 2-3 years left in him, man. He got about 2-3 years left in him, and he could do some damage. And I think if he was to come to the Eagles, I mean, I would love it.
I think he'd have to play safety.
You think he'd have to play safety? So you don't think he lost that much?
I mean, it's not that he lost that much, man, but these guys, you got some speedy receivers out there.
Yeah,
now.
yeah. You got some receivers, yeah.
I don't think he's as nimble as he was, but that's still not to say he's not an elite athlete. But I'm just saying to play safety, I think you can maximize him better if you put him out there at safety. Right? And I'm talking about like a strong safety because he's a good run.
He'd
defender.
he'd run support. Yeah. So with him being on the Rams and you knowing him and seeing that you won the Super Bowl with you guys, personality wise, would he be willing to move to safety? That's the thing. Some guys got egos where they like, you know what? It'd be like, man, I'm a corner.
Yeah.
I'm not moving to safety because they see that as a step back. Like, you putting me at safety.
It would have to be his idea. It
Yeah.
would have to be his idea to move to that position, or someone to make him believe it's his idea.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I wouldn't oppose to it at all. I did see his name floating around with you guys, and I did see the Eagles on that list.
I never see the Eagles on that list.
I saw the Eagles. I did.
I said that as a hypothetical.
No, seriously.
I never see the Eagles on
I'm
that
telling you, seriously. I'll have to send it to you. I'm gonna go find it and I'll send it to you. But yeah, I did see the Eagles on that list, man. So hey, you never know, man. You never know.
I know. Eagles wasn't on that list.
But he has a big, doesn't he have like a big salary that's coming with him too?
That's the problem. That's why that's why they're having an issue moving him because nobody wants to take on that money.
Yeah, nobody want to eat that, and that might be an issue for us too.
So they just waiting for the what they're waiting for, right?
These training camps and stuff to get started.
No, the Dolphins already showed their hand. They want to get rid of him.
Right.
But they got this big lump sum of money that needs to be moved with him.
Yeah.
So teams are like, we're gonna wait for you to cut him.
Wait for you to cut him.
Yeah, I'm just gonna wait for you to cut him.
Yeah. Yeah, that
Yeah.
is true. They did show their hand.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you already shopping them and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Yeah. You're
Yeah.
just gonna have to cut them and eat
Yep.
that money.
Yep.
Yeah. Well,
Yep.
let's see where he land. He gonna land somewhere.
Well, I think definitely by training camp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
All right, man.
All right. Yep. Good
Well,
one.
see you on the other side.
All right, man. Later.